Hi guys, it is Natalie here once again, and Happy New Year! I hope that you are all having a wonderful start to your new year. I know that many of you guys are preparing to come here to Korea for the spring term, and I know that there's still a lot of people that are preparing their application for the fall term. Anyways, I want to wish you guys good luck, and actually this video is made just for you. So as a YouTuber in Korea, as a teacher, I get a lot of questions asked to me personally about this entire process and just a lot of stuff. So I am going to just compile down a short list of really popular questions, and I'm pretty sure I will answer your question in this video. So if you want to know my thoughts on some of the most frequently asked questions I get, then stay tuned. So the first question is, what is the difference between GEPIK and EPIK? So let me start with EPIK. Stands for the English Program in Korea. This consists of almost all of the areas around Korea, okay? So it's a program that places teachers, foreign teachers, into public schools all around Korea, okay? GEPIK is the Gyeonggi-do English program in Korea. So if you do not know what Gyeonggi-do is, basically it is the province that surrounds Seoul. Okay, so this special program places teachers in public schools in Gyeonggi-do. So we have EPIK and we have GEPIK. These are both public schools. So where does Korvia fit in this mix? So Korvia is kind of like your mom in Korea. Okay, they are the ones that are speaking on your behalf, so you don't get screwed over. Okay, so anything that EPIK and GEPIK needs, they talk to Korvia, and then Korvia is on top of you. Korvia provides assistance just in case anything happens. They also provide in-country assistance, and if you have any problems throughout your time here in Korea, you can always contact them. They are really great with that. So that is where Korvia is. As I said, EPIK and GEPIK is only public schools. You also have private schools, which are known as hagwons, which you can apply to. There's not a huge difference between EPIK and GEPIK schools because they're both public schools, but there's a bigger difference with private schools, which is leading into my next question. Are public schools and private schools the same? Do they provide the same benefits? So, public schools, like schools through EPIK and GEPIK, they have set benefits. So that includes your vacation days, that includes your insurance, your housing, your in-flight services, all of that stuff. It is in your contract, you've got it, you know that you're going to get it for sure. However, with private schools, it's a little bit more relaxed because it's not, I don't want to say it's not guaranteed, but you don't have you don't have a huge corporation that is upholding that contract, whereas these public schools are under EPIK and GEPIK. They have those companies or those programs to adhere to, like their regulations to adhere to. These private institutions, they don't have that. And usually, from what I understand, private schools, you'll have less vacation days, you may have longer hours, you may have to work on weekends. You don't have that set flexibility like you do in the public schools, excuse me. Y'all, I am going to be messing public-private this entire video, so just get used to it, okay? Another really popular question I get is, am I too old to work in Korea? I get this all the time. People from all walks of life ask me this question, and basically what I can say is, as many people as I have met here in Korea, the majority of the teachers range between 24 and 35 years old, in my opinion, from everybody that I have met. So that is the huge chunk of age group or age ranges that I see. I'm not going to say that you cannot get a job at a school if you're 45 years old, because frankly I actually do know somebody who's 45 years old working in a public school through the EPIK program. I really can't give you a solid answer on if you're too old, because there's so many exceptions. So I just want to say, don't let your age hold you back from actually just trying to apply. You never know what you can get, whether you're going the public school route or the private school route. Just try it. You never know, okay? I cannot give you that answer. I just know that the majority of people that I see are 24 to 35 years old, but hey, that could just be the people that I hang out with. So another question, is a TESOL or TEFL certificate required? Like, do I have to get it? The answer to that question is, it depends on what school you want to go to. So if it's a public school, the answer is yes. A TESOL/TEFL degree or certification is required. But if you want to go to a Hagwon, it is not a requirement. It does look good, but it's not a requirement, okay? It's up to the qualifications up to that school, okay? Because all the private schools are different. They have different qualification things, whatever. All right, so let's go back to the public schools. Now, as you know, you have public schools within the EPIK program, through the GEPIK program, and also you have GOE, which is down south in Busan. So, EPIK and GEPIK, you need a 100-hour TESOL/TEFL certification, and it can be online, okay? That is the basic. You don't need anything else on top of that. There was talk before that you were supposed to have an in-class portion. However, it was voted against. So now all that is required is an online portion. If you do go to the Korvia's website, they do advertise an online TESOL program that I guess they partner with, and that will be more than enough, okay? So hint, hint, go ahead and get it if you want to come here. Next, if you want to teach in GOE, which is the Yeongnam province, which is the province surrounding Busan, you do need an in-class portion. So out of your 100 hours, 20 of those hours have to be an in-class portion. However, if you want to teach in the city of Busan, 50 of those hours have to be an in-class portion. Okay, this question is super popular. So, I want to work in Seoul. How likely is it for me to get a job in Seoul? Alright. Let me just say that literally everybody who applies to EPIK wants to be put in Seoul. Okay, so you can only imagine that's thousands and thousands of applicants, okay? Now, from what I understand, there may be 50 to 100 positions per semester that open in Seoul. So just imagine the demand that is put on them. So what I'm going to say is that most likely, if you are looking at working at a public school in Seoul, like in the city of Seoul through SMOE, you will not get it. And that is being completely honest if you want a public school, because the positions are so few and so low, okay? Now, you'll have a better chance to get Seoul if you decide to go the private school route, going through Hagwons, okay? Because Hagwons aren't with SMOE and they choose their applicants themselves, okay? They do their interviews and whatnot. So if you are okay and you feel flexible enough with working with a private school in Seoul, then that's the way you're going to have to go in order to get placed in Seoul. So how does Korvia choose which school I get placed at? All right, so let's start off with Korvia does not place you at a school, okay? We're gonna start with EPIK. If you are applying to a public school through EPIK, EPIK randomly places all of their applicants throughout their school. So the schools are just as lost and not knowing as you are, because they don't know who's coming to their school, just as you don't know who's coming, where you're going. So with GEPIK schools like to choose their applicants, and they will do an interview. That's why you have this, you do your video interview, and then you do your one-on-one interview with the school, okay? In EPIK, you don't interview with the school, you interview with EPIK, and EPIK, the program of EPIK, chooses if they want to have you in their program. Then they place you with whatever school they want. GEPIK, you are working and you're interviewing directly with the individuals at the school, and the school themselves pick you, okay? And the same thing is true with Hagwons. You are interviewing directly with the individuals at Hagwons to see if they want you. So that's the reason why EPIK people, you guys are completely lost and you don't know where you're going, what you're doing up until you are finished with orientation, which is kind of unnerving, I do understand. So if you want to know what schools you're going to, then GEPIK or the private school route is the way to go, because you will know what school chooses you before you even step on a plane. I do want to let you know, however, that the schools that do have the interviews like GEPIK and the Hagwons, they are going to be a little bit more picky. You know, they could be picky with personality, they could be picky with appearance, they could be picky with many different things, because that is what they choose to do, okay? But again, don't let any of this deter you from applying, because you never know what schools are looking for, okay? So this is going to lead me into my next question. What is really happening between EPIK and GEPIK? Now, for many of you guys that are not really familiar with what's going on, GEPIK, the GEPIK program, the Gyeonggi-do program, is slowly phasing out over the next few years, whereas EPIK is kind of like taking over GEPIK. Yes, that's my jellyfish hands just taking over it, okay? And eventually what's going to happen is that the GEPIK schools will be going through the process that the EPIK schools go through, meaning that teachers will be randomly placed throughout the districts and the schools in that entire area. So right now, if you do apply through GEPIK, you may still have an interview one-on-one with a school, because those schools are choosing to do this until the required date when they have to conform to the EPIK standard. So there are some schools that have already switched over to the EPIK program, but there's still some schools that are like, hold up, I'm not ready, okay? So yeah, that is kind of the synopsis of what's going on with GEPIK and EPIK and GEPIK. So another question, what happens if EPIK denies me? Okay, you guys, if you guys are on my YouTube channel, I made an entire video on this subject, what happened when EPIK denied me and how I got a job here in Korea. Anyways, if you get denied by EPIK, as I've been saying throughout this video, there are many other ways for you to get a position in Korea. It may not be at the time that you want. You may have to be a little bit more patient, but it's still possible. As I said, you can go through the GEPIK program, which is the Gyeonggi-do English program in Korea. You can also do a public or private school, okay? So those are the other ways that you can get a position here in Korvia, in Korea. Wow. If you want an even better chance, in my personal suggestion, I would suggest that you get the in-class portion, because that makes you look stupendous. Not putting any shade to anybody that's only done online. I'm just saying, if you want to stand out from the crowd, then do a little extra with your certification, okay? It's not that hard. But yeah. So those are your other options that you can choose from. This is an interesting question. What do schools really prefer? Do they prefer prior work experience, or do they prefer education? So that answer, it really depends on which schools you're going to. GEPIK schools, they primarily, I don't want to say primarily, they usually like people with a little bit more experience, teaching experience. I mean, and it doesn't necessarily have to be teaching in a core curriculum kind of classroom. It could just be you were teaching students, or you were teaching professional development skills, or you've had experience working with children, you know, within that age group. They like to see that aspect on their applications. Whereas EPIK, they're a little different. They like the young, fresh, straight out of college blood, because you guys are more vibrant and peppy, and you guys are moldable to what they want, and you guys can grow with the students and things like that. So I would say GEPIK is more work experience based, and EPIK is more just straight out of college based. Anyways, I hope that this video helped you guys with your questions that you may have. As you know, I am not a professional. This is all my personal experience and what I have been able to learn through my time I've been here, which has almost been a year. But if you do still have questions, then leave them down below, and we'll try to answer them as they go. You can also send an email directly to Korvia, and I'll leave all that information and their links down in the description box below. Don't forget to subscribe to me on my personal channel, TravelingNat. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and do so, for a little bit more of an in-depth view of Korea and vlogs and all that good stuff. Anyways, thank you guys so much. I will see you next time. Mwah. Bye.